People they watch these movies today, and you know, you can't blame people for things they haven't been taught. It's like maybe they forgot how to teach morals and ethics. Maybe they didn't watch the cartoon. It was a pretty good cartoon. It's called The Superbook. It was like Bible adventures of these time traveling friends with this time travel robot. It's pretty cool. You know, people watch the never ending story and all they see is the dragon, the kid, the little Indian boy, and you know, he's going through all this stuff and he's he's sinking in the swamp, and he gets pulled out of the swamp. It's like President Trump saying, "Hey, drain the swamp." Remember the little Indian boy? He almost got sucked down by the swamp. That's a true story. I used to live in up there in Georgetown, South Carolina. And we were playing little war games in the woods. And I go across this little bridge and I fell off and I'm like in the swamp getting sucked down. I'm yelling, screaming, hollering. My friend comes over and he pulls me out of the swamp. And it's like President Trump says, "Hey, drain the swamp. Can you trigger your memory and try to explain these morals and ethics, man, that people don't understand?" I'm like, okay, I'll be like the little Indian boy with my, Indian family heritage, with my family from the mountains with the really high cheekbones and all that stuff, I'm like, you think about the never ending story, they don't realize the names. Atreyu, They go, Atreyu, holler the name, Atreyu, You see, it's like a French word, Atreyu, you know? You see, it's like a beautiful thing, though, the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, and you go, I trail you, The Holy Spirit's always following you, watching, saying, how can I help you? I'll trail you. I'll trail you until I find you, and I give you this wisdom, It's like a never-ending story, And that's the American heritage. It's a never-ending story. It continues on and on and on, It's like the wisdom in a nation of nations, All the cultures of the world, all the stories of the world, and all the truth to go out there and seek and find, and then you go, oh, look at all this wisdom, and then you pursue the happiness, the American dream. When President Trump said, bring back the American dream, make America great again, and then all the presidents start working together, Congress start working together, senators start working together, communities start working together. And it's like, man, then people, they used to think church was lame. I'm like, if you think church is lame, then the people have become lame, And if the people become lame, no wonder we can't get anything done. That's why Jesus said, hey, get up out of your lame beds and walk, And they go, well, what is the walk? And it says, well, if you walk in a way of wisdom, then good things happen. And I was like, preachers, they used to preach like that. I remember when I was a kid, I went to a couple different churches. I'm like, I never really been to church before. They'd take me to these couple churches. I'm like, man, some were like, whoa, what was that? And the other ones were like, hey, that made sense. And then the other ones were like, that made sense. And man, that was like some wild, crazy stuff, And I go to another one, it's like, man, that's pretty cool, It's like church hopping, Where do you think I got the idea for church hopping from? When I was a kid, they never took me to one church. They take me all kind of churches. I'm like, that was pretty fun. And then I started looking forward to like, man, what kind of weird church am I going to go to today? That might be kind of cool, It's like church adventures, And you start to learn about different people, different culture, different styles of teaching, and then like, you go to a public school and it's like, well, it's like watered down so much, back then that I'm really teaching anything. And they're like, what do we do with this genius kid? And I said, well, they take them all these private schools, And it's like, I get the